What's good, my people? Welcome back to EMGM Sports. I'm your boy Enzo. I hope everyone is having a good day. Now, it's been up to what, 4 days since the Bivol versus Beterbiev fight in Riyadh. Riyadh season. It was a cracking event. Fantastic fight between two elite boxers. And you know what? Yeah, people just can't get over it, and I don't really understand why. People are saying it's a robbery. I've heard people saying that, oh, Beterbiev only won because he was in a Muslim country. Like, I've heard all type of excuses, you know what I mean? I've seen all the numbers, I've seen CompuBox numbers, I've seen who landed the most jabs, I've seen who landed the harder punches, power punches, whatever. I've seen it all, man. I've seen it all, and I'm tired of it. Do you know what I mean? I'm tired of it. Listen, if you've watched boxing for long enough, yeah, I'm not gonna name no names. I'm not gonna say which specific fight, but you come on, yeah, I know, yeah, what a robbery is. I've seen some absolutely horrendous decisions over the years, yeah, in some boxing fights, yeah. So listen, man, I know when I see a robbery in boxing, I know. Bivol versus Beterbiev was not a robbery. No way, not in any day. That was never a robbery. Like, it was two elite fighters at the top of the game. Do you know what I mean? Two chess masters, yeah, going at it, yeah. Both of them were just a match for each other. Do you know what I mean? They complemented each other, contrasting styles, yeah. But at the end of the day, it was just an epic fight. It was an epic fight. Beterbiev came up on top. Well done to him. Congratulations. But that does not diminish the work of Bivol, man. Dmitry Bivol put in that work. For me personally, he boxed flawlessly throughout the whole fight. Do you know what I mean? And he had to. Because when you're going up against an opponent like Beterbiev, this guy is a monster, man. He's the Terminator. 20 fights, 20 knockouts before he fought Bivol. Do you know what I mean? Bivol is the first opponent that Beterbiev hasn't knocked out. Do you know what I mean? That should tell you a lot. That should tell you the caliber of a fighter that Bivol is. Do you know what I mean? Like, Dmitry Bivol is a hell of a fighter. He's elite, man. In the light heavyweight division, these two guys, they are a class above the rest. Like, no one else is touching them. No one else is touching them. Now, I just want us to just appreciate the fact that these two guys got to share the ring. Because if it wasn't for Riyadh season, Turkey al Sheikh, these Arabs coming together, putting on these shows, we will not get these fights between these two guys, man. Because we've seen it in the past, all the big fighters. Before Turkey al Sheikh, Riyadh season got involved, a lot of these fighters were ducking each other, man. We've seen it for years. Big fighters, us the boxing fans want to see the best fighters go against the best. We never saw that for years. They were ducking each other, hiding behind promotions, hiding behind like TV networks. Or I want 50%, you take 40%, I take 60, whatever. Do you know what I mean? There was always a lot of nonsense politics going on within boxing. But Turkey al Sheikh, Riyadh season, they've come in, yeah, they've cut all that crap out. Now the best have to fight the best. Do you know what I mean? This is what the boxing fans been asking for years. You've been asking for the best to fight the best, like we've seen in the past. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao didn't fight each other until they were both kind of like out of their prime. Do you know what I mean? Like, we should have had that fight way early, and we should be happy. We've had this fight right now, like quick time. It was a quick turnaround for Bivol and Beterbiev to fight each other. Do you know what I mean? And we should just enjoy the moment, man. Like, everyone should just calm down with this robbery talk that everyone's banging on about. Like, here, Eddie Hearn is saying things about Beterbiev and his team already started celebrating before the decision was even announced. Like, the result was announced. Like, loads of crap, man. Do you know what I mean? Eddie Hearn, you need to calm down, man. Take a chill pill, man. Relax, man. Go get a drink, man. You know what I mean? Go chill somewhere. Do you know what I mean? It's not that deep. Two chess masters, yeah? Elite, two of the best, probably the best light heavyweight champions of all time, yeah? You have to throw Roy Jones in there as well. Yeah, there's been some fantastic light heavyweight champions as well. Do you know what I mean? Some names I haven't mentioned. But to say that it's a robbery, you must be crazy. You must be crazy. You must not have been watching boxing long enough. Yeah, now I don't look, I'm not really too big on numbers because sometimes when you read that numbers, you look at stats and that, it kind of like people like get this misconstrued notion that, do you know what I mean? The numbers mean everything because a boxing fight is judged in so many different ways. Do you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't. Listen, I think they should have one set of rules of how to judge a boxing fight, yeah, because that way it's just gonna eliminate all the controversy that comes after the fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, who dominated, who threw most punches, who threw the most jabs, who done this, blah 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 blah. You know how it goes. You know what I mean? It just carries on and on and on, and it never stops. I've got some numbers though. I want to read out some numbers because look, I know you've probably seen it. A lot of people have done the numbers, the through the stats in your face is everywhere. Social media, numbers are everywhere. But I want to read out some of the numbers here, and then you guys and girls can make your own minds up at home. Yeah. So we're looking at punch thrown, yeah. So both fighters, this is the amount of punches that they both thrown through the whole fight, yeah. You're looking at Beterbiev, he threw 1,023 punches the whole fight. Dmitry Bivol, he threw 582 punches the whole fight. Now that's crazy because you know Beterbiev, I think, is the heavier guy. He's the older guy as well. Do you know what I mean? He's 39 years old. I thought Bivol actually looked like, watching the fight, I thought Bivol threw the most punches. He threw the most punches. Do you know what I mean? That's what I thought. But now Beterbiev was the one that threw the more punches. The most punches, sorry. So, but throwing the most punches doesn't necessarily mean landing the most punches, you know? So that's why I want to read another stat here. I want to look at uh, so punches thrown to the head. Yeah, these are the punches thrown to the head, aimed at the head. 969 punches for Beterbiev, 533, 532 punches thrown for Bivol. That's punches thrown to the head. Landed. Now, this is where it gets a bit interesting here. So, in terms of landing, don't remember, Beterbiev threw, you know, over 1,000 punches in that fight. Yeah, he landed 218 punches during that fight. Bivol, he threw 582 punches in that fight and he landed 213 punches. So if you're looking at the ratios, like Bivol threw less, but he landed way more. If you're looking at, do you know what I mean? He landed way more. Nearly half the punches that Bivol threw, he landed. Do you know what I mean? And Beterbiev, he threw over 1,000, but he only landed 218 punches. And head, now we're looking at the shots landed on the head, yeah? Beterbiev landed 188 punches to the head. Bivol landed 187 punches to the head. Now, if we're looking at high impact, yeah, so these are the punches that had the most impact. So we're talking about solid jabs, we're talking about power punches. Beterbiev landed 23 power punches in that fight, yeah? And Dmitry Bivol landed 48 power punches in that fight. Now, if you're actually looking at it, if you just look closely at those numbers, it looks like, yeah, even though Bivol threw the least amount of punches, he landed the most and he had the most effect in it. Because if you're throwing a higher volume of power punches and the landing, that means surely you're having the most effect, right? So I don't know how you guys and girls are gonna judge that at home, but the numbers, looking at the numbers, they're pretty much in the favor of Dmitry Bivol, even though Beterbiev threw more, almost double the punches of Bivol. He still didn't really land much. Do you know what I mean? Even his power punches, he only landed 23 the whole fight. But listen, man, this is all like, the numbers look good, they look pretty and everything like that. And it might actually help you to conclude, make a decision at home and actually decide, you know, who, yeah, no, not decide, but more like confirm who you thought really won that fight. Like, people looking at those stats will say, yeah, Bivol won it. 100%. Bivol won it. Do you know what I mean? But then again, I always say to people, like, when I'm watching a boxing fight, do not underestimate ring generalship. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of ring generalship, like Beterbiev was dominating the ring, man. Like it's like they were dancing to Beterbiev's tune. Do you know what I mean? Like Beterbiev, he was pushing the pace. Yeah, Dmitry Bivol was always on the back foot, always going back, back, back. But he was landing though. He was effective. He was letting the shots go. He was letting the jabs go and everything like that. But in terms of ring generalship, Artur Beterbiev was actually running the show, man. He was cutting off the ring. He was always constant applying the pressure, yeah? He was always there. Now, whether he landed or not while he was putting that pressure, to some judges, that might be irrelevant. And whether Bivol was on the back foot and still landing and fighting, to some judges, it looks like you're on retreat. Do you know what I mean? It looks like you're on the defensive mode, and it might not look good. I feel like that ring generalship shown by Beterbiev, that dominance that he had in terms of controlling the ring and the pace of that fight, it looks like that's what won him the fight. Some judges just like that. Now, whether it's wrong or right, judging the fight by those criterias, hey, listen, it's up to the judges on that day. Some judges, they like the boxer, they like the guy, even if you're moving backwards, you're throwing punches, they might like that. Then you go some judges who actually like the fighters who apply the pressure, who are controlling the ring and everything like that. So it just depends on what judge you get on that day. Now, whether boxing should be judged in that way, I don't know, man. It's up to these guys, the boxing board of control, all these guys, all the association promoters, fighters to come together and determine how they want to score fights, in the future. It's up to them. I don't see it changing anytime soon. But even me, when I was talking to my friends and stuff like that while I was watching the fight, I was saying, listen, Beterbiev is pushing the pace here. His ring generalship is incredible. He's cutting off the ring. He's the one coming forward. He's the one trying to land. And Bivol, for some reason, he was on the back foot the whole fight. There were moments in that fight where he would come forward and let shots go, but let's be real. Most of the fights, he was on the back foot. He was retreating, but he fought well. Like I said, listen, this is a really hard fight to score, man. There wasn't a lot in it. There was small margins. It was a fight of small margin. Why? Because it's two masters in that ring, two elite fighters, world class, without a shadow of a doubt. Do you know what I mean? Like, without a shadow of the doubt, these are the two best light heavyweight champions, like, in the world. Probably the best two light heavyweight champions we've ever seen. And these guys were unbeaten. So none of them were going to give an inch to the other. Hence, you see the number of punches landed is not that high, like 213, 218, power punches 48, 23. Like it wasn't a dominance performance by either fighter. They cancelled each other out, man. Do you know what I mean? And that's what happens when you get two elite guys going against each other. So all these robbery talk and things like that, just stop it. Let's cut it out, man. Listen, I appreciate the fact that we're getting to see these elite world-class fighters going at each other in this moment of time. We're alive to witness it. Just be happy. I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? I'm happy I get to see all these great fights. But like we always say, controversy and, do you know what I mean? Controversy sells fights. And all these discussions online, all these disagreements and arguments and that discussions that people are having online, etc. Promoters coming out and ex-fighters, experts coming out giving their opinions. Listen, all that does to the fight, like, can you, like, the rematch value off the roof, man. The rematch value off the roof. One thing we know for sure right now is we sit here today, 4 days after the fight, they definitely have to run it back. These two have to run it back. We don't want to see them take a year off. We don't want to see them, take a warm-up, tune-up fights. Nah. You two guys go away, enjoy Christmas, whatever, have 6 months off. Let's get it back in the summer. Do you know what I mean? Let's get it back in what? Even in the spring. Let's go March, April, or let's go in June. Let's go back in there straight away. You two don't need to fight anybody else. Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterbiev, you don't need to fight any other fighters. The next fight we want to see from you guys is a rematch. And Turki Al-Sheikh himself said that He wants to see that rematch. I saw his interview. He was saying that he thinks Bivol won that fight. So even he's like kind of like peeking, saying, yeah, Bivol won. There's people saying Beterbiev won. One thing we do know, the rematch is gonna happen. Turkey Al Sheikh, Riyadh season. Listen, endless money. That rematch is gonna happen. And I heard that Artur Beterbiev, he's up for it. He's up for it. Bivol is up for it. Bivol wants to get that revenge. Bivol wants the chance, another crack at undisputed. And listen, looking at that fight, the way Bivol fought, I have no doubt that he can win the rematch. He can win the rematch. Artur Beterbiev is what, 39? He's going to turn 40 by the time they probably meet. Do you know what I mean? He's not getting any younger. He looked a bit slow in there as well. Do you know what I mean? He didn't really have that aggressiveness that I've seen him with in the past. Bivol's only 32, and Bivol's going to go away, make adjustments. He's probably going to think to himself, you know what? If only I done this. If only I held the center of the ring a bit more, a bit longer. If only I scrapped and banged a bit more. Then I mean, I could have won it. I could have swayed the judges a bit. You know what I mean? And in hindsight, it's easy to say all that. But in the moment when you're in there with a monster machine like Artur Beterbiev, hey, listen, completely different story. Do you know what I mean? Me, myself, when I was watching that fight, I had Bivol up 2 rounds in that fight. I had him 2 rounds up going into the 11th or 12th round. Do you know what I mean? But after the 11th and the 12th round, because Artur Beterbiev put so much pressure, he was landing on Bivol. Bivol was on the retreat from round 11 and round 12. He was retreating, man. Do you know what I mean? And Beterbiev was letting his hands go. He was touching my man up. So when he came to like, when the final bell rang, I had a draw. Now, if Bivol held the center of the ring on the 11th and the 12th and used this jab and didn't constantly retreat, I would have given that fight to Bivol. But the fact that he retreated in the 11th and the 12th and he was taking punches, I think that's what lost him the fight. I personally think that it was a draw. But like I said, the ring generalship of Artur Beterbiev, the way he controlled that fight, the pace, he was setting the pace. He was the one chasing the opponent. Do you know what I mean? Bivol was on his bike, although he was very calculated. It's not like he's on his bike and doing that, and he was letting shots go. But like I said in the beginning, how does he look to the judges? How does he look to the judges? Do you know what I mean? And Bivol was touched up as well, like, you know, his face was marked up. Artur Beterbiev, his face was normal. He walked out that ring the same way he came in. So all these little details can sway, can make up judges' decisions while you know what I mean, they're scoring the fight. So listen, I'm just happy I saw a great fight, and that is it, man. I'm just happy I saw a great fight, and I'm sure these two will have a rematch and they'll come back. You know, Biv will come back stronger. And listen, the second fight will be even crazy because now these guys have shared the ring, they know each other. Listen, they're going to make the necessary adjustments, and I'm sure when they come in next time, they're going to want to put in another great show. And that's only good for us. We are the winners. Us boxing fans, us the viewers, we are the winners. Listen, get that rematch on. You can sign me up. I'm up for it. I'll pay £100, whatever, £100, $100, whatever it takes to watch that rematch. And I'm sure it's going to happen. But listen, stop with the whining and moaning and all that crap, man. Listen, it's not a robbery. Never in a million years. Get over it. I appreciate the two fighters for who they are, elite, world-class fighters. And yeah, man, let's move on. Let's close the chapter. I'm looking forward to the rematch. Listen, once again, thank you so much for watching EFGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo. I'll be back with another one real soon. Stay tuned. And like I said, man, listen, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Help the channel to grow. I'll really appreciate that, man. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, peace.